first thing that comes to my mind when comparing and contrasting my childhood to, say, my kids, is the difference between school and household chores. I have a son who's 2.5, a daughter that is 6 months old. And even though, they're still really young, there are a lot of differences I already see in my childhood and theirs, and a lot of differences I want, them to have in my childhood compared to theirs when, talk about those two areas. The first difference is work. For instance, I started working in the 11th grade, high school, 16. I was a lifeguard for 6 years. And I started working 4 months after I turned 16, so I jumped on it right, really quick. And got me thinking about, in the chapter, about the Newsies. Of course, I didn't work that young, obviously, but, when I was a kid, it was, when I got a job, I could buy my own cell phone that I wanted. I had a new, car insurance, gas, all these things I was able to do and afford now, and it was really nice because I took a lot of strain, off my parents, and that felt good, to kind of help with stuff now. I felt responsible, and even though I was just a kid, it was 6th grade, 16, I felt good about that. But that's a big difference with my children is I don't want them to do that. I want them to be kids as long as possible and enjoy activities that, enjoy being a kid. And, I want them to focus on school when they're in school. I don't want them to get a job in high school. I don't want them to get a job in college. I just want them to enjoy being a kid and not so much, working on the corner like a newsie, selling stuff, when they're a kid. I just want them to enjoy it, households, being a kid. Yeah. Let's see. The other one is like responsibilities. When I was a kid, we had to do a lot of yard work. I was in charge of doing, mowing the front yard, backyard, picking up dog poop, gardening, taking out trashes. Then weekly, bathrooms or sweeping, mopping, vacuuming. But for my kids, I don't necessarily want them to do that. And because, I bought the house, it's my lawn, I wanted it, so it's my responsibility. And it goes back to the first point of I just want them to be kids. But when I do mow the lawn, my son who's 2.5, he has a fake lawnmower, and so he just follows me around, with his, like, shoots out bubbles. But, he follows me around the yard, every turn, every row, just follows me with his. It's obviously it's a game to him. He sees me doing it, just like, the kids, back in the day felt, with the slave children, making games out of adult things, even though, mowing the lawn's not that big of a deal, but for him, he doesn't know what it is, and he's just, maybe just kind of rationalizing and just kind of following it, doing what adults do, he's just copying us. And the same thing with his new thing is money. He doesn't know what it is. He gets, a nickel, a dime, sometimes $1, puts it in his pocket, and will tell, like, me or, to give money to my mom, give money to his mom, my wife, to go to the store to get things for him, or he needs monies to go to Chuck E. Cheese, so he sees these adult concepts and makes a game out of them, doesn't know what they are, kind of understands, but, he's just trying to rationalize it and do what adults do with money, you get money, you go to Chuck E. Cheese. He doesn't understand, but those are, some of the points I saw in the chapters, especially the Newsies with those kids working and, trying, forming a union, almost a union, just trying to do what they saw the adults doing. I can see that a lot with my kids, just trying to act like us. He wants to put his shoes on like me. He wants to do all these things like adults do, and in his own way. Following with a bubble mower, not a real one. And his sense of money. That you can just go to the store and get more money. Go to the bank, go get more monies. So those are the main things and differences. I saw regarding the chapter with me as a kid, my children as a kid. So that's it. Thank you.